Another thing to really consider is comfort. When I started off, so I run an Airstream trailer. It's a converted 1950s Airstream. It's in a garden. It's called the Pink Flamingo. And every Thursday I open up just in the evenings for a meal. We build a bonfire, we play music, we set up lights, we have tiki torches. A lot of these things we didn't start with. I was literally just cooking out of the trailer and feeding my friends. I was sending an email out to 30 people. And slowly it's been growing. Now it's people, I'm like, how did you get here? Like, who are you, right? How did you find out about us? Because it started off so small, right? But one thing I think that has really helped expand that experience has been a lot of the thinking beyond the food. So once you really have the food under control, and to be honest, there's always going to be things going wrong. You're always going to end up forgetting something or losing something, or you open up the squash and it's all messed up inside, right? So there's always things that you can't control. But I think another really important step in conceiving of this whole pop-up, right? Because that word is kind of like, it can mean anything. Is really thinking about, okay, how are they comfortable? What is the environment like? Where are they sitting? What is it going to be like for them to walk up to the counter? Are they going to be confused about where to go? How is the menu? Where is it? So really putting yourself into the position of your client is really important to understand. What is it going to feel like for them? What is this going to look like? If I put this light over here so that I can see better inside of the kitchen space, is it going to affect their ability to read the menu? Or if I put all the hot sauce over here, is that going to cause a traffic jam because everyone's trying to come back around this way when they're already going over there before? So it's really like walking through the whole process and understanding the flow. And understanding, okay, what do I want people to do? How am I setting this space up in order to invite them to do certain things? So, if you have a really long table and understanding how that's going to affect the flow of conversation different than having groups of tables or than having something family style, right? So do you want to have people literally sharing a dish in the middle of a table? Do you want them to be having their own portions? Do you want it to be something that they control, or do you feel like it's really important for you to control the amount of food they're getting, how it's coming on the plate, and even the order, right? Sometimes you're like, okay, just put it all out. People will eat the sweet potatoes, they'll eat the salad, they'll eat it all mixed together. Or do you want something where you're like, no, I'm very conscious about this, leading to this, leading to this, leading to this, spacing it out, having a long meal, having space in between each course for people to digest and talk and drink water, right? So I think, there's tons and there's thousands of right answers. It's not like there's one formula that's going to work. I think ultimately it's about you really making sure that you're in tune with yourself when you're thinking all of this through, presenting yourself and your gifts as authentically as possible, right? And doing it in a way where there's a flow and where there's a sense of continuity throughout the whole experience. Is that good?
I want to open it up to questions for you, Mako, because you do a great. I guess, how many people in this room? Okay, have you all ever watched a television commercial and it says what happens in Las Vegas stays in Las Vegas? What we say in this room about Pink Flamingo stays in this room.
Thank you.
Okay, that's all I'm saying. And if you've never had the opportunity to visit Mako's Airstreamer that we all affectionately call Pink Flamingo, it is a fantastic experience it is that she has created. Any questions about experience from Mako in terms of how are you going to create an experience? What music are you going to use? How are you going to be giving that gift of love that she talked about? It's more than just food. I saw you shake your head, Mr. Thomas. It's more than just food, isn't it?
It really is. And the only thing I like to say is that when we got to the cafe part of it, it's an experience.
Yes.
My other daughter said, we want to create an experience for people to come in and I thought about, wow, an experience. So that means service.
Right,
Service is
right.
so important.
Yeah.
Yes.
And that means training of your employees, because you can have good food and bad service and people won't come back. So that's all part of it. The service part of it.
Yeah.
And that's what we're working on now to make sure our employees, you know, do the right thing when the customers come through the door. As soon as they come through the door. Service is so important, so that's it. And I thought about what you said, it is. It's gotta go in order.
Yeah.
Any questions for Mako, or what comes to mind when you all are think about it not only as someone who is about to embrace upon or thinking about a vision and about a pop-up, think about the aspect of you as a customer going into a restaurant and going into a pop-up. What is a great experience for you? What is that? Cynthia, I saw you raise your hand.
Yeah, I raised my hand 'cause I wanted to ask Mako, how long have you been in business?
This is my fourth summer.
The fourth summer?
Yeah, I only operate in the summer months as a pop-up. I mean, in the winter months I do pop-ups in other venues and I cater, but this is my fourth year.
Okay. And each summer, are you changing your menu or are you staying consistent?
Every week I change my menu.
Every week.
So I've gotten to the point where I have specific items that people ask for every week, and so I make those every week. But even those change. So because I'm farm to table, I have a green salad every week. It changes every week.
Mako, could you explain farm to table? You know everyone who provided ingredients for that salad.
I don't know where the raisins came from, and but yeah.
Who are some of the vendors that provided for
Sure.
that salad?
So the fennel is from Buffalo Street. The carrots are from Grown in Detroit, which is a network of, oh no, those are from Food Field, sorry, Noah, up in Boston Edison. The kale is from my friend who's just starting off. She's growing on the east side over at Feed 'em Freedom. What else do I have in there? The apples are from a vendor at Eastern Market. What else is in
The
there?
fennel?
Oh, the fennel is from Buffalo Street.
Okay, oh yeah.
And then the dressing ingredients, that's obviously a little bit trickier, right? So it's ginger, I mean, some of the stuff's local, like the shallots, the garlic, local. Ginger, you can grow it here, but I don't know anybody who's growing it in Michigan. So, just, you know, there's some stuff.
You just need to get ginger from. Okay, here we go.
I'm waiting.
So when you say farm to table, you talking about, oh, I'm gonna do a farm to table dinner. It's a guest asks you as a part of that experience, even if they ask your staff, well, what are some of the farms that you're locally sourcing from? This is farm to table. They will want to know, shouldn't they, Ms. Thomas? They better know to create that experience. And when you farm to table, you best be farm to table, because I know I'm gonna ask. Okay? But this is a part of the experience. Yes, sir, you had a question. Did you have a question? I'm sorry. Did you? No, you didn't. Oh, you did. Okay, I'm sorry.
Where is this? Where do you do this?
So I'm located in North Corktown. It's the 2700 block of Vermont, between Temple and Spruce.
Yes.
And is there a time that you do it?
6 to 10 on Thursdays.
I have
Yeah.
a question for you. In addition to being the person here at the kitchen, we also have a community garden
Oh,
right
yeah.
on Livermore.
Okay,
And we try to wholesale some of our crops through Growing Detroit.
sure.
Do you deal with any of the wholesale, or do you go to the market and get everything retail?
So I do, so I have wholesale accounts with various farms. And one of them is Keep Growing Detroit. So what they do is they send out, for those of you who aren't familiar, they send out a produce list. They send out the whole availability, projected availability through the fall. And then from there, every month they send out an available produce list. So you have, this is how much it is per pound, these are the 12 varieties of tomatoes that we have, and then you can order as you like. So I'm assuming that the stuff that you're growing goes through their, unless it just shows up on Saturdays or Tuesdays at the market. Because I know they're also at Eastern Market with the stuff from I got a whole bunch of herbs from Aton, and he's like, I can't tell you where these came from. You know, I don't know who specifically grew these, but they're part of Learn How It
Well,
Works.
we do sell at Growing Detroit on Tuesday, but we're trying to develop a more comprehensive wholesaling network.
Right.
So everyone in the city's got more kale than they can, we grow
Right.
too much.
Right.
We grow too much garlic, but there's kind of a bottleneck.
Sure.
Where we've got all this stuff and we don't really have a venue. We're looking for people that, so I was just curious if you wholesale too, as long as you try to.
I do, yeah.
What's your website?
It's Guerrilla Food Detroit. Guerrilla spelled like the resistance fighter, Guerrilla. Guerrilla Food Detroit.
Any more questions for Mako about experience or any experience that you want to share as a potential pop-up chef or food entrepreneur or a consumer about what really made a good experience for you? What do you look for when you go dine in terms of a good experience? Anybody want to share? Yeah, Diane.
So, I'm not a food entrepreneur at the moment. I have aspirations and visions. But I'm a big foodie, and I live way out in Southwest Wayne County, in Belleville, and out there, good restaurants, homemade food are so hard to find, so it's like a desert for me out there. And I'm always striving, so anywhere that I go, I'm looking for that authentic feel. Like when I go into a place, I want to automatically feel what it is you're giving me. And so, you know, exactly, I've done the sweet potato sensations, the black eyed pea soup, love it. And the experience you guys have over there, it's spot on. But yeah, create exactly what you want them to feel, and remember when you leave. One of my visions is like your grandma's kitchen table. That's the vision I have for me in the future. I want to create a place that is like 1950s. You walk in, you're sitting at your grandma's kitchen table, glass of iced tea, whatever, you know, and that's the experience. You convey exactly from walking in the door.
Exactly, I love that. And you had your hand up?
Yeah, Diane basically said what I was going to say. I look for comfort. I look for good food, first of all. But I look for a place that's real comfortable, where the people are friendly. And just to kind of really piggyback, I've known the Thomases for a long time, but I don't go there a lot. And I went a couple of weeks ago, and it was just like Cheers.
Everybody knows your name.
People, and they come in and they're comfortable and they sit down, and I was just standing there waiting for my food, just observing, you know, the aura and the atmosphere, and that's what I like. I like comfort, and I like friendliness, and it's just like a family inside the restaurant. That's what I like.
I love that. Yes, ma'am.
Like Diane said, I do a lot of work with Tech County in Southwest Detroit. And so one of my clients that I met with last week is opening a new corner store in Southwest. So as soon as I walked in, I felt like when I was little in Mexico. And we talked about the fact that just like food businesses, these specific stores, they're not just selling the product, they're selling the nostalgia, the smells, the senses. So I think that that was a good defining word for her to really understand, like, you're right. I'm not just selling these little Japanese peanuts or whatever. I'm selling that experience of being when you were back in wherever. Whether it's a time frame or a country.
Oh, yes. Absolutely. In the back, in the back.
Yeah, hi, my name is
Linda, right?
Linda. And I guess everybody pretty much, have said what I would say about going to a restaurant. I also look for cleanliness.
Oh, cleanliness.
Because I've been to some restaurants where they scratch their head and they was like, No, but I think that's really important as far as manners, and if you're asking a question about a food item on a menu, I think all the servers or they shouldn't have to leave the table to go and find out what's, what we're eating.
Absolutely.
Me and my sister, we do a lot of pop-ups.
Okay.
Seven Sisters. It's not a branded business. We work out of our homes, and we have done quite a few events. And we have this vision one day, because everybody in the family is cooking and so forth, and we just.
Well, what's the vision, Linda? One day what? Y'all gonna have a brick and mortar? Is that the vision? Speak it. Say, yeah, is that it? Y'all gonna have a restaurant?
That is the vision.
I got
That's
you.
why we're
Okay.
here.
That's right. I love it. And that's your sister next to you?
Yes, it is.
Hi. How are you?
7 sisters, but get through. They say, what are the other 5 at? I'll say, this is me and her.